What's up, guys? Alright, today I'm doing a special episode. If you're curious as to what's in my hockey bag, then watch this because I'm going to go over all the gear that I use. It may or may not be helpful to you because a lot of the equipment I use is actually quite old, minus my new, like my pads and my helmet. So let's just get right into it. We'll start from my helmet. So this is the helmet that I'm currently wearing. It's the Bauer 960 XPM. It's a really good helmet. It's like the most expensive helmet that Bauer offers to like the public. But the reason why it's so expensive is because it's really durable. I've been hit countless times in the head, which you may or may not have seen in my games. And I've never once been injured because of that. So I really do like this helmet, and anybody who's buying a new helmet, whatever your budget is, try to spend the most amount of money you can on a helmet because that's your head, you want to stay protected. And as you can see, I got the little clip here to mount the GoPro onto my helmet. If you guys want to know how I mount it, just go to my Instagram account. You'll see it. I have little circles of those highlights, and I show how I mount it on my helmet as well as how I mount the camera on the glass. The other helmet I used to wear is this one here. It's so old, I don't even know the brand name of it. It was custom painted. I got it when I was 10 years old.
Oh my god!
And this was the helmet I wore for 15 years. I actually retired this a couple seasons ago. This helmet you guys may have seen on my Instagram, but this was the helmet that was actually going to be replacing this guy. And this is also a Bauer 960, but it's the older model where the padding is actually a lot different. It's more of like a thicker foam. And this helmet here, my good buddy Mike painted it, and he spent probably like 200 hours painting this helmet. And I love Back to the Future because it was a trilogy. Each side of the helmet is kind of like a different part of that trilogy. I have not ever worn this on the ice, and I don't ever plan to, just because to me it's a work of art and it's just so nice. I would hate to get a shot that chips the paint. This helmet is a really good representation of kind of what I believe in, and it's just a reminder that if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. Those are the three helmets that I own. The next thing I have, a neck guard. So this is a Vaughn 701, and this is the only goalie neck guard I've ever bought. So it's probably between 10 to 20 years old. One thing about goalie equipment too, it's kind of expensive, but if you buy the good stuff at the beginning, it will last you a long time. Then the next thing I have is my jock. This is a PC 755 Senior Sonic Shield. Never had any issues with this. Again, this is probably like at least 10, 15 years old as well. This is something you don't want to cheap out on as well, trust me. This is also really old. This is the Vaughn 7000. Now, I know there's a lot of good new ones that have come out, and I'm really looking to get a new one because this one too is also probably around 10 years old. Like, as good as it is, it protects me. I got a shot the other game where he took a slap shot and hit me right in the middle where like this extra padding is, and it just hurt. Like, it actually almost winded me. But overall, it's been a really good chest protector. But you might be wondering what this extra lip is at the bottom. It originally came like this. And when I started playing AAA, I was getting taller, but I just didn't want to buy new equipment because I couldn't really afford it at the time. I ended up just going to a hockey store here in Toronto, and I just had them put on an extra little flap, which saved me many times from getting shots right to the stomach. And then I also got them to extend the forearm plate because originally it was only up to here, and I kept getting hits in the wrist, and it just wasn't good, so I really wanted to add some extra protection to protect my wrist. So there's also one more defect back here, not the manufacturer, just wear and tear. This strap actually came off. It just kind of broke off one day. I should get it fixed because there's been times where I was wearing it, and because it's flapping like this, the chest protector actually would move out of the way, and I got a shot that hit my collarbone, and I thought for sure I was gonna break it. Like, it bruised right away, and it was a hard shot. And then that was the moment I decided, okay, maybe I should really get it fixed, and I still haven't yet. Anyways, don't wait for stuff to happen before you get things fixed or replace them. That's all I can say about that. I also have, which you might see on the floor here, is just a typical like Swiss Army type pocket knife. This is good for fixing anything. So the pants that I'm wearing are also very old. These are made by Bodum. These are the only pair of goalie pants I've ever bought. They are really good, however, they are really big and bulky. At the time, that was a style and that's what goalies were wearing, but now I've seen a lot more goalie pants that are slim, and I'm very interested in getting a new set. Then I got the Bauer Supremes. These are the Max SOR3s, and I never had knee pads. I usually just had the flaps that go over your knee to protect them. But then once I switched over to the CCMs a couple of years ago, I found myself hurting the inside of my knee every time I dropped down on the block of the inside of the pad. So I was like, you know what, maybe I should get some knee pads. And ever since getting these, not only has it helped me not injure the inside of my knee, but there's been times where I got shots and this has protected the top of my legs. They got 4 straps on the back, and I actually like to crisscross the straps at the top, and I've never had them slide down my leg. I know some goalies talk about how their knee pads slide down their leg. These ones have never slid down, but I also wear like tight Under Armour type underwear, if that makes sense, like long pants. I put these on my bare leg and then I put the pants over top, so that also helps keep these up. These were only like $70 Canadian and I absolutely love them. Totally worth it. If anybody's getting knee pads, I recommend these. Then these skates here are the Reebok 7K pumps. These skates have been really good and a lot of people said they were the most comfortable skates that they owned, and they were much more comfortable than the skates that I was wearing previously. I've never been injured wearing them. That's one thing a lot of goalies may or may not experience, is getting a puck to the toe or the inside of the boot, and it might cause pain, but I've never had any pain with these skates. A lot of the times I find that I'm not able to crouch low with these skates because eventually I'll hit the inside of the protection here, which is plastic, and I'll end up sliding and I can't actually have a wide stance. So I'm thinking about investing in getting a pair of true skates, which would probably be my last pair of goalie skates. And then on to the last, but probably the coolest and best part of any goalie's equipment, the pads. These are relatively new. I've only been wearing them for about a season and a bit. And these are the CCM eFlex 3s, and these are the pro models. I had a video where I talked about double T versus single T. I will never go back to a single T, that's just my preference. I find that I can see the puck a little bit better through the double T, and just something about it, I just like it. But this right off the bat closes pretty well, great protection. Obviously, sometimes I get a stinger here or there, but that's just gonna happen. You get hard shots. And then I have, the whole set is the eFlex 3 Pro set. So the blocker, same thing, really good. There's not too much you can say about a blocker. As long as your hand is protected and it's comfortable, that's all that matters. I do wish it was like the Warrior stuff where you can take out the palm. I would love to be able to wash this, but you can't, so that's the only downfall there. Lastly are the pads, which you can see here. Same thing with the gloves. I love them. A lot of people ask me, what do you prefer, this equipment over that equipment? I'm really not picky when it comes to equipment. I don't really think the equipment makes you better, if that makes sense. I truly think that you can play just the same in any new gear, regardless if it's Warrior, Bauer, CCM, Ryan's. Now with that being said, obviously people have preferences. They might like the look of one over the other. But when it comes to functionality, I remember trying a pair of Brian Sub-Zeros once, and that was when I was wearing, way back in the day, I had Reeboks, like old Reebok 7K pads, and I tried on a pair of Brian's, and that I can noticeably tell because my old Reeboks didn't have the technology that the newer pads had. So I noticed a big difference there. But from the Brian Sub-Zeros to the CCMs, I really haven't noticed much of a difference in sliding. But ultimately, I've never had a piece of gear where I'm like, this is causing me to play bad. So at the end of the day, all you want to do when you're looking for new equipment is just make sure that you're going to be A, protected, and be comfortable, because you want to make sure you're comfortable in making a save, but you're not going to get hurt in the process. And if worst case, you buy a new set and you try it 3 or 4 times and you just absolutely hate it, you can always go and resell it. Yes, you might take a little bit of a loss, but ultimately you can go and buy the other gear that you might think is better and try it out, and you might actually have made the right decision by getting rid of the first set. Because ultimately you don't want to be stuck in a set that you're not comfortable in or you're getting hurt in. You do not want to get hurt playing this position, because on top of actually injuries, you're going to be scared of stopping the puck, and you don't want to be scared of stopping the puck. Alright guys, so that's all that's in my bag. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button. If you have any comments, write them down below. Any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. And one more thing before I go, this is the last time I'll be able to tell you before the contest happens. If you haven't yet, hit the link in the description. It will take you to a page where all you gotta do is make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and you will be entered to win a blocker sleeve, which is signed by Marc-Andre Fleury, Jonathan Bernier, and a couple other goalies. A blocker sleeve allows you to practice your blocker saves off the ice without having to chase the ball or puck every time you make that save. It's like a Velcro piece that goes over your current blocker, and you can just bounce the tennis ball off the wall, save it, grab it off the blocker, and do it over and over again, because the best way to get better is by repetition. So make sure you hit the link in the description to enter for that. Alright guys, if you like this, hit the like button. If you haven't yet, subscribe. I'll see you on the ice.